That's what place it's in. In the last 20 months, from the time we started March 29th, 2012 until now, we have made strides and improvements in a lot of areas. The assistant coaches and the players that we had last year, as well as the ones that we have this year, deserve a lot of credit for that. A lot of credit. In fact, darn near all the credit. Okay, they have initiated and ignited a switch that has given us an opportunity to build something special at the University of Illinois. The University of Illinois is the 24th ranked university academically in the world. We have 5 Final Fours. We have a renovation going on in our arena that's going to make it one of the nicest in the country. We had a group of seniors last year that overachieved at a high level, that bought in and showed extraordinary level of commitment and passion and unity and integrity about how they do things. So if anyone wants to know what place Illinois College Hoops is in right now, it's in a great place. Not a good place, a great place. Now at this time I'm going to address questions about Michael and Leron, 2 terrific young men and very good players that we're excited to have join our basketball program. I will only be answering questions about those 2 players. Questions.
John, where's Leron going to fit in your team next year?
Well, I think Leron's strength, Rob, is his versatility. I mean, he's a guy that's going to be able to play multiple positions, extremely athletic, plays very, very hard, has big-time motor, competes, is a winner, great teammate. You know, I'm thrilled that we have him. I love the fact that he's really athletic, allows him to make plays with that motor. You know, you see athletes all the time, Rob, guys that have his athleticism, maybe not as much or as frequently, but I think not only does he have that type of athleticism, he has a motor that just does not stop running. He's very competitive. It's hard to teach kids that, and you know, we're excited to add him to our program. I think he's going to bring an element of toughness to what we do.
Are you still tweeting him Bible verses every day? Or is that
you know, that's between me and Leron. Leron's a special kid. You know, he and I have a very good relationship and enjoy talking about a lot of different things. You know, Scripture being one of them, but other things as well. So he's a great kid, has a lot of substance to him, as does his family. Like I said earlier, I meant what I said. We have 2 not only terrific young men, but 2 great families that have joined our basketball program.
And about Michael Finke, some people have suggested that, you know, was he a Big Ten fit? What do you expect from him next year?
Well, I think Michael brings a lot to the table in terms of intangibles with his work ethic, his basketball IQ. He's a relentless worker. I mean, he gets up frequently and works out in the morning when no one's watching. Obviously, this is a small town, so you hear about what guys are doing, and he loves the game, and he wants to get better, and he works all the time. I think he's a high-level shooter, Rob. I think he's a guy that passes the ball well, puts balls on time, on target. He's very unselfish, but I love his work ethic. I love his intangibles. I love his intelligence, and he's going to be a guy that really contributes to what we're doing, moving forward. We're glad to have him.
He's been changing his body a little bit.
Working very hard, Jeremy, on his body. I mean, his body is completely different than what it looked like a year ago. Now, I mean, he's really worked. I mean, he lifts religiously, lifts and does strength and conditioning and gets shots up. And, he's a really hard worker. He's one of those guys, we talk about the 3 E's a lot, the extra, even, and empty. He and Leron both, in terms of their commitment level to the game, are off the charts, abnormally extra. So that's going to be a great influence on our program, injecting both of those guys into that department when it comes to the work ethic that we want both on and off the court. Those guys are excellent in that regard.
Do you see Leron as a 3-4? About his versatility?
I do. I think he's multi-positional. I think he's a guy that's, can play those 2 positions. You mentioned both 3 and 4. Long term, I think he's going to be able to do that, for sure. But he's a kid, he wants to win. He's competitive. He has a nasty physical streak about him in terms of toughness that I really like, that I think every good team has to have. he brings that most importantly, regardless of what position he plays.
With Michael, is he a multi-guy or is he more 4 right now?
Michael's, a skill guy that's obviously adding strength to his frame and getting physically stronger and maturing each year. That between last year, Marcus, and this year, I think his body's physically matured a lot, which is good. And I think that natural development and growth is going to continue to happen as he moves forward. We like for all our guys, Marcus, to be honest with you, at the end of the day, to learn at least 2 positions. Sometimes when they're freshmen, as I mentioned earlier, we'll teach them 1 just for the learning curve purpose. I haven't had too many freshmen that we've taught 2, but he's plenty bright enough that he more than likely could do that. But we'll do what's best for him. I won't make those decisions in terms of is there a second position other than the 4 until he practices with us and he's with us every day and can size up how quickly he's picking things up.
Mike's pretty cognizant of his areas of improvement. What do you think he needs to improve?
Well, I know he's working, hard to get stronger. We've already talked about that, Rob. I think his body's changed. He's added more weight. He's physically stronger. I think it really starts there, and it's something that he's been addressing very diligently, working really hard at it over the last year. I think athletically, with that strength, Rob, he'll become a better athlete. I think he already has. I think, just taking care of his body in the flexibility department, as well as, Mike Baskier will do some things with him, strength, conditioning, athletically, that I think will help him long term, and he'll be able to make a jump because of that.
From a skills in the post perspective, where is he at right now?
Right now, obviously at the high school level, and a lot of nights, he's the biggest guy out there, So, they use him down there some. I think, he has certainly a turnaround jump shot. He'll seal down there. Michael's a guy that's not afraid of contact, which I like. He'll seek it, which is also hard to teach guys. You either like that or you don't. He's a guy who seeks contact that I think has a little edge and toughness to him. And I think he'll be better down there as he continues to gain the right weight and get stronger.
What does it mean to have another local kid on this team, obviously?
Well, obviously it's neat. It's neat for Ray Rice to be able to play in his hometown. It's going to be an unbelievable opportunity for Michael, especially being that his parents have such strong ties to the University of Illinois, with his dad playing both football and basketball here. But having said that, regardless of where he's from, and I said that to him from the very beginning, we're thrilled to have him. I don't care where he's from. He's got high IQ. He's smart. He can shoot the ball. He can pass. He loves the game. He's a great teammate. He's a terrific addition to what we have with our roster. We talk about getting talented people and talented players in our program and on our team, and Michael is that.
Can you go back to Leron and his areas of improvement? We haven't seen nearly as much.
Yeah, sure. Leron's a guy that I think he'll be the first to tell you wants to continue to grow his game, Rob, towards the perimeter, which is great because that makes him more multi-positional, makes him even more of an asset, which is terrific. So the more we can grow a guy's game and make him, versatile, multi-positional, I'll tell him all the time, the compliment that you could receive that would be great would be, man, I don't know what position is he. He can handle, he can pass, he can post, he can drive it, he can defend multiple positions, he can play multiple positions on offense. The guy's just a player. And that's really what we want for all our guys. We want them to be basketball players and not numbers.
John, obviously you built your program with your recruiting classes. You accomplished a lot last year. What did you accomplish this year, and what are you still looking to accomplish?
Oh, we're still, obviously we still have a long way to go, but we're in a great place, as I said earlier, Jeremy. I mean, nothing has changed in terms of our vision and where we want to go and the commitment we have to that, the commitment that last year's players had to that, the commitment that our administration has to that, the commitment that this year's players have to that. That's not changing. As one of the former players texts me tomorrow, Coach, this morning, the one thing I know about you, Coach, that freight train's moving and you better jump on. And we want guys that want to be on board with 2 feet. If you don't want to be on with 2 feet, you're going to get ran over. And that freight train's moving. So it's moving, and we got to keep nudging it and pushing it and driving it forward. And, we're committed to doing that as much today, if not more so than we were when we started on March 29th, 2012. So, I think, we're in a great place, and now we just got to continue to move forward. You can't stand still. I've talked about that a lot. By no means have we arrived. We still have a long way to go, but it starts with having the right people around our guys. We have a great staff, and it starts with having the right people on our team, on our bus. And I really like the guys that we have. I think they understand. Some of the younger ones are starting to understand even more, what it means to put on that jersey and what that expectation is for them in a lot of areas, both on and off the court. And we got some guys that have really grown up a lot since the summer. I'm excited about that as we continue to move the program forward.
John, a lot's happened in the last 48 hours. You referenced one of those things. Just judging from your voice, fair to say that you're plenty fired up for.
Oh, without question. And the guys know this. Tracy said to me this morning, boy, don't put Coach up against the wall, man. And he's right. And those guys have that disposition as well on our team. Tracy's the same way. Nana's the same way. Those guys are all the same way. We got a bunch of fighters in our locker room. We fight. We don't fly away from things. We fight. Those guys do that. That's the disposition of our assistant coaches as well. And, we're going to keep driving the thing, Mark. It's fun, man. I mean, what a special opportunity to be at Illinois. I mean, I've said that over and over and over again. This is a special place. It is a great place. We have great tradition. You can't fabricate or make up tradition. And, we want to get to where we're more consistent. We all know that. You guys know that. I know that. We're working towards that means. There's no shortcuts involved. We don't take shortcuts. We don't have excuses. We're not going to complain about things. Our eyes are focused on where we're going, and we're locked on that every day, and we're just trying to get a little bit better every day and keep nudging that needle in that direction. That's our total focus.
John, you want to talk about Ahmad Starks and the increased role that he might have next year?
Well, I mean, I think he has, to be honest with you, Rob, and obviously you guys don't have the liberty to see him play every day, so I understand that. But his role right now is the same as I'm going to define for him next year. I want him to be accountable defensively and in rebounding. We hold every guy on our team accountable in those two areas to a degree with roles within those two areas. I think he's a great playmaker that is going to balance or need to balance making others better and scoring. He has a gift to score, a gift to shoot the ball. He has a gift to play off pick and rolls. He's a great teammate, trying to get him to be a little bit more vocal. We tease him every day, just kind of joking with him, saying, hey, we don't want you to be a 5'8" two guard. 5'8" two guards are guys that play like you and don't talk. We want you to talk. Point guards talk. So we tease him, and Dustin needles him every once in a while, all in good fun. But with that, I think he's gotten more comfortable with our system, comfortable with how we do things. And, even today's practice, I thought he was really vocal, and we need him to continue to be so.
So will he be playing at the 1 and the 2 next year?
Right now, he's just learning the 1. Again, first-year guy. We'll see. We like them to be multi-positional. Sometimes with point guards, with the responsibility that they have, we'll teach them one spot, Rob. I know I mentioned earlier we like to teach guys 2 spots, but, really for us, we want him right now to master that point guard position.
John, obviously this year you don't have the luxury of redshirting anybody.
Yeah.
When you build up depth, when do you have that conversation?
Well, that's a great question. One time Brad Stevens and I had we were talking about that. And, obviously, there's some programs that do that. And you see those guys, that are getting their 4th year of athletic eligibility, so to speak, when they're 23 rather than being 18, is that an advantage? Sure. My gauge or barometer for it, Jeremy, is oftentimes I wait till practice starts, we go through practice, and I ask myself a very simple question. Do I see this player potentially having the opportunity to play in every game? If I think that can happen, then more than likely that means they can contribute to that team that given year and help Illinois, then probably not going to redshirt them. If I don't answer that question like, yeah, then I say to myself, well, maybe I need to think about this because I certainly don't want to waste the young man's year. But we haven't had that luxury. I've been doing it now 6 years, and we've had change going into really each of those 6 years other than my 4th year at Ohio. So we really haven't had that luxury to redshirt somebody. Is that out of the realm of possibility moving forward? I don't want to ever say never. You paint yourself into a corner. It might be what's best for a young man or best for your team, but, I don't make those decisions until after we've seen the whole team practice and we got more of a sample size, if you will, or more of a body of work to evaluate a young man and to evaluate our team.
Anything else here in the room? think Shannon's on the phone. Shannon, do you have anything? I don't hear it, so, okay. Anything else?
Any questions? Phone lines?
I think we're good, Coach.
Okay, thanks, guys.